we're on our last one for practice number 4 before our assessment. So hopefully you already have your answer for this and you're just double checking to make sure that you did it correctly, or hopefully I can explain where you made your mistake. So let's look at the word equation. Calcium carbonate combines with hydrochloric acid, HCl, to produce calcium chloride, water, and carbon dioxide gas. Now, one thing I want to correct is that we have carbon dioxide. You might not know this, or I didn't give it to you, but I think we already did this before. So carbon is going to be capital C. Dioxide, di means 2, so we're going to have 2 of that, and we go ahead, and there is the formula. And I said I would give that to you, so if you were looking for that and you couldn't find it, okay, there it is. Don't worry about whether it's something is a gas or not. If we did a little bit more advanced class, we'd go ahead and worry about that. But this class, we don't have to worry about that. So we're going to go ahead and start off. Calcium carbonate. No Roman numerals, so we know that it is type 1, but carbonate tells us that's polyatomic, so we're going to have to find the charges of each one. So our charge for calcium, where we're going to find that? Well, we're going to find that on our monoatomic ion sheet. We could, it'd be nice to be able to use the periodic table because it's all right here. We know that it's in 2A, so it's a +2, but let's go ahead and double check and make sure that we know what that is. So we're going to go to that sheet. Okay, next page right there. Always go past it. So calcium is a +2. So we have it at a +2. So then we got to look at carbonate. So carbonate is polyatomic. It ends in 8, so that means we're going to find it at the very end. Remember, there's a reason why, because if you have your packet, it's easier to go to the rest of these things at the very end. So let's scroll down to the bottom if we can. So let's go to carbonate. Carbonate is right here, carbon 8. So it's CO3, and it's a -2. So calcium was a +2, and carbonate was a -2. Okay, so when we write those out, they already cancel each other out, so we only need one of each one. So we're going to go ahead and put in here our calcium, and then we put in our carbonate. Do you remember what it was from that? I believe it was CO3. Okay, but I can't put that little O. I got to put a big O. So CO3. Let's double check that. Carbonate. We'll go here to our polyatomic ion. Carbon 8 is CO3. Okay, and it's a -2 there. So there we go. So let's put, there it is. Once we get this in there, we said that this is going to combine with hydrochloric acid. So we're going to add hydrochloric acid to it. We see the symbol, we see the formula right here for hydrochloric acid. Now hydro means no oxygen. If it would have just been chloric acid, it would have been H, and then it would be chlorate. But that's not the case. So we're going to go ahead and put in our HCl. And that's going to produce or yield our calcium chloride. Now calcium we know is and I'm just gonna put this down. Calcium is a +2. We know that because we did it. But what about chloride? Chloride, it's not polyatomic, so we got to find it in the periodic table. So we're gonna go to page 12 or 13 again to our monoatomic sheet. Oop, just passed it, saw it right there. Okay, so we went to chloride. Chloride right there again is a -1. So we're going to put that back in there above that. So that's a -1 or a 1-. And again, they do not cancel each other out. So that, what do we have to do? We have to crisscross. So we're going to crisscross them. So we're going to put a 1 right here and a 2 right there. So when we go ahead and write this out, we're going to put our symbol for calcium. We only need 1, so we don't have to put a subscript. Then we do chlorine, and we have to do a subscript for this one as 2. Okay. After that, we're going to add water. So hopefully we know the formula for water, H2O. And carbon dioxide gas, which I gave that to you also again, if you didn't know it. Again, on these right here, if you don't know what they are, you're doing them at home, okay? You can go ahead and look it up. Or if you're in the classroom, just ask Mr. Nelson or Mrs. Garbo. So we're going to put CO2. And again, now when we get all done with this, we got to make sure that we have a molar ratio. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what we need to do. So I'm going to just tighten this up just a little bit, just to save us a little bit of room. So I have 2 compounds on this side, which are going to create 3 compounds on this side, okay, which is not unusual. So we're going to go ahead and get all the way over to the arrow, and we're going to put in what we have on each side. Now again, if I have a polyatomic ion on each side, like carbonate, I can put it down. But notice that this is CO3 and this is CO2, so they're not the same. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and put all the elements in. So we're going to put carbon or calcium right there. Then we're going to put our carbon in. And then we're going to put our oxygen. Our hydrogen. And our chlorine. This is one that has the most in it that of all of the ones that we've done so far. So once we get done with this, we're going to go ahead and put in how many we have on each side. So on this side over here, we have 1 calcium. We have 1 carbon there. That's it. So just 1 carbon. Oxygens, we have 3 right there. So we're going to have 3. Our hydrogens, we only have right there, and that's 1. And our chlorine is right here, and there's only 1 of them also. So on this other side, okay, we have 1 calcium. Our carbon over here is 1. Our oxygen, 1, 2, plus that one right there. So we have 3. Looking good so far. Hydrogens. Okay, I had 1 on this side. Oh, I have 2 hydrogens on this side. So we have 2 there. And our chlorines, I have 2 on this side. So I have 2. So we're going to start off with chlorine, hydrogen. It doesn't really matter. I like just starting off with chlorine. I like to save hydrogen at the end, just like oxygen. So we're going to do our chlorine. So I have 2 on this side over here, and then so I have to make sure I have 2 on this side. Again, we did not change the subscript, so we're going to change the coefficients. So I can put a 2 right there. That tells me I have 2 chlorines, but it also changed my hydrogen to 2. Okay. Did it change anything else? No, it doesn't look like it changed anything else. So we're good with all these on the bottom. So let's double check again. Calcium, I have 1 on this side, 1 on this side. Carbon, I have 1 on this side. I have 1 on this side over here. Oxygen, I have 3 oxygens on this side right here. And I have 1, 2, 3 over here on this side. Hydrogens, I have 2 hydrogens on this side, and I have 2 hydrogens here. Chlorines, I have the 2 right here, and over here I have the 2 right there. So that is our balanced chemical equation. So our molar ratio is going to be 1 to 2 to 1 to 1 to 1. So we'll write that in as 1 to 2 to 1 to 1 to 1. There are 5 different numbers there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have them all there. Highlight it. Look at it and say, can I reduce? In this case, we can't reduce. We do have 1s. So we're going to highlight it and change the color. And there's our answer for problem number 5. We're all done with that. Hopefully you can use these, practice with these, and make sure that you're ready for the assessment that comes next. As always, go Mohawks. Nelson out.